What's going on, whiskey friends? Hey, today we're gonna just check out this new Woodford Reserve Batch Proof, the 2022 release. But before we dive into that real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patrons, my good friend John G and my buddy Tab. So John G and Tab, thank you gentlemen for supporting the Bourbon Judge. Really do appreciate it. And I should give honestly a huge shout out to all my patrons. So we just crossed over the 60 mark. So again, I appreciate all my patrons. Thanks for all the love, all the support. We do a lot of fun things, contests, mid-month contests, our fantasy football, which I'm not doing too well in, but we have a blast. So again, thank you, John, Tab, as well as all my other patrons as well. So we go back to Woodford Reserve Batch Proof. So this is the 2022 release. Just came out in July. I was really excited to find it actually this weekend. I might be a bad husband. We spent our Mrs. Judge and I spent our anniversary weekend whiskey hunting. I'm not a good husband. I'm sorry, Mrs. Judge. I apologize. I did drag into a few stores, but hey, I found this on Sunday, and hey, here we are, right? Here we are. So, but today is going to be a fresh crack because I haven't, I got this over the weekend and I didn't have a chance to, like I normally do, pour a little bit in my infinity bottle. So this is going to be a brand new, straight up fresh crack. So this will be fun. And I'm going to go ahead and just do that real quick and we'll just keep diving into it. So take all this off. Go back there. All right. And there we go. So this is the 2022 release. Again, just came out in July. I will say I've had many of their other batches as well, like from the batch proof from previous years, and I've always enjoyed them. They were always, in my opinion, truly Woodford Reserve. Take the Woodford Reserve experience like to the 10th degree. They've always been just spectacular for me. And what I like about this release is that a couple of things. Number one, the proof point comes in at 118.4 proof. It's another cool thing is the MSRP pretty much stayed the same. I think last year when I bought it, it was about $125. This year was $130 plus tax, which is the MSRP this year. So I mean, gosh, $5 for the most part. The MSRP has really kind of stayed flat. Maybe within a couple bucks. So not horrible. Now I will say from the availability standpoint, this is definitely harder to find. Like I said, I was out this weekend. I did find it, but that was after going to numerous stores. So this is one where if you see it and it's, for a reasonable MSRP, if it's like at true MSRP, that 125, 130, maybe 135 range, you might want to grab it. And I would say only if you are a Woodford Reserve like fanatic, you probably want to grab it because it is harder to find. Just coming out in the last few months, this weekend was the first time I saw it, and I'm out in liquor stores probably way too often. So, all right, let me get into this nose real quick. So there's no age statement with the 2022 release. Wow, this is nice. Damn. No age statement, but the mash bill, so 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. Wow. This nose is nice and chocolatey. Syrup, maple syrup, brown sugar, deep notes, and I mean straight up deep notes of like very deep leather. And a little bit of pepper as well. That 18%, that rye is definitely a little spicy in there. This is a fantastic mash bill. I like the 72, 18, 10, by the way. I wish they gave the exact age, but hey, it is what it is, right? What can you do? Oh, man, this is nice, folks. Oh. Now, I will say the only thing I did do before obviously diving into this one earlier, I had a chance to dive into the 1920, which is, of course, obviously the sister company. You got Woodford Reserve, Old Forester. These two are probably very similar in terms of, not these two particularly, but Woodford Reserve and Old Forester, very similar from like a palate standpoint for most of their product. Creamy, chocolate, caramel, brown sugar notes, a little bit of maple syrup. Very similar. They all kind of work in that same, from a palate standpoint, being under the Brown-Forman umbrella. But I had that one earlier, and just because I haven't had this one, yet, and I haven't had Old Forester 1920 in a while, I was like, let me just go ahead and sip this one. I want to see how different, how similar, and how much better, potentially, is a Woodford Reserve Batch Proof. All right, here we go. Hey, real quick, three quick easy favors. Number one, hit the like button. Number two, drop me a comment. Have you seen Woodford Reserve Batch Proof? And if so, did you pick it up? And if you did, what are your thoughts? Last but not least, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button right this second. Did you hit it? Promise? Okay, all right, let's go. All right, my friends. Cheers, everybody. Ooh. Oh, man. That is deep and rich. Damn. But you know what's funny about that? 118.4 proof. That had, I mean, the palate was very much, everything in the nose matched the palate, but the finish was very long and steady, but it didn't sip like it was 118.4 proof. It sipped probably closer to like a 110, maybe even like a 107. That's really nice to be almost 120 proof. Wow, that could be a little dangerous. That could be dangerous. Oh my goodness. Oh man. There's a couple things I have to call out. So, number one, what's not in the nose, at least not as much, but a lot more in the palate. This is extremely chocolate, caramel, almost like chocolate covered like raisins, like some raisin notes in there as well, mixing with some maple syrup. That's extremely chocolatey, tons of like brown sugar, maple syrup, extremely chocolate as a whole. So the question is, Judge, if I see this, if I'm dropping $130, am I gonna like this product? Well, folks, verdict is in. That, my friends, is a buy for me all day long. And I mean every single day and twice on Sundays. That is fantastic. What I like about it is, and I will say this one thing also, it had a lot of notes of like chocolate and coffee in there as well. I'm a huge coffee drinker. I drink my coffee straight up black, and I love the deepness and the boldness of those chocolate notes in the coffee when it's black. I got a lot of coffee and chocolate in this whiskey here. So if you're not a big fan of like chocolate and coffee and you prefer more of like the sweeter, like maybe even more fruit forward, then you probably wouldn't like this. But for me personally, I love this. And I can tell you, because I had this one about 20 minutes ago, I mean, yeah, there's some similarities, but this is completely different on a whole nother level. This is a fantastic product, and in my opinion, it's worth the MSRP. Hey, until the next time, peace, cheers, salute, much love and respect. Take care, everyone.